A licensee has been notified that there is a formal complaint against him as a result of finding by probable cause panel. How long does the licensee have to answer the complaint? The answer is 20 days. The government rectangular survey method numbers sections within a township from, I chose 1 to 24, but that was wrong. It's 1 to 36, beginning with the upper northeast corner of the township and continuing in a snake-like pattern. Now, this is weird. I have still hard time understanding what a township means. I mean, I've read it like 1,000 times, but it just doesn't go to my brain. And there's an explanation here. Each township has 36 sections, which are numbered in every township beginning in the uppermost northeast corner. So northeast corner is a way to go. You start from there, and this is weird, like you have to go with a snake-like pattern, probably like just straight. Which phrase below describes the meaning of the word contract expressed in a simple terms? Now, I chose a verbal agreement, but that was wrong. The right answer is a promise to do or not to do something. An agreement between two parties, basically one promise in exchange for another. This is sometimes described as offered of acceptance. So there was a question about dual agency, and the answer was, just so you guys know, the dual agency is not allowed in Florida, which I think is a great thing because it is allowed in California, and people get issues all the time. Especially I encountered a couple times that the agent was not giving the best offers presented by other agents to the landlord who was selling to the seller, stating that pretty much had his interest. He didn't say anything to the seller. He just, did not present the offers, which is, I think, is just a fraud. Making decisions here in California, really, dual agency is something that should not be allowed, especially in the frame of all that is going on right now with the Missouri Commission and case against the Realtors Association. That's definitely something that should be addressed. Next question: which appraisal theory says that the maximum amount a buyer will pay is based on the price of competing property? Appraisal theory says that the maximum amount a buyer will pay is based on a price of competing property. Now, that theory is called substitution, and there is an explanation. The theory of the substitution says that the buyer will pay no more than the cost of the similar equally desirable property. It is the basis of market data approach. VA loans require less cash from veterans borrowers because there is no down payment, but there are closing costs. No closing costs and no down payment. That was the wrong answer that I selected. So there are closing costs for VA payment, which is interesting. I was under the impression that you don't pay anything. A licensee is working with an investor who is interested in purchasing a small apartment complex. The property has 6 units rented at $1,100 per month if the cap rate is 7% and the operating net income is $38,500. What is the price of the property? I chose 188, 570, which was wrong. The right way is to calculate is NOI divided by cap rate, which is 38,500 divided by 7, which makes 550,000. That's your property price. If you have a cap rate, if you have income, you can calculate the price up to the certain cap rate you want it to be. A broker listed a house for $300,000 and sold the home for $95,000 of the asking price, 95% of the asking price. The listing broker paid out 45% of the total 6% fee to the selling broker, who paid the selling associate 60% of the amount that came out to the office. How much did the selling associate get paid? Now, 95% of the 300 is going to make $285, and then $285,000 we multiply to 0.06, which makes 17,100. That's a total commission, and 45% of that amount is 7,695 times 60. So that's pretty much, why times 60 though? Like, doesn't make sense. Oh, okay, so listing broker gets paid 45% and then he splits it to 60 and 40. Okay, that makes more sense, which is $4,617 for the broker's share. One listing the property working with a seller and another broker sells the property working with a buyer. Each broker splits the amount of the fee to the office with the associate who worked the transaction. Which statement below is correct regarding the mortgage as a security document? And the answer was mortgage line is a specific voluntary line. My answer, the wrong one, was a specific involuntary line is created with a mortgage. There's an explanation here. The mortgage lien goes with a specific property and is one of the owner, and it is one of that the owner allows to be placed upon the property. Without the line, the lender would disperse no monies. So there should be a lien so that you could get the loan. So there's a question about the eminent domain. What are the two parts that should occur or can occur? And I answered wrongfully, stating that there must be a property assessment and the owner must agree with the outcome, which was wrong. There must be a condemnation process, that's what they call it, and the owner must be compensated. So pretty much what happens, they come, condemn, and give you money and get their conversion. Which phrase below best describes the meaning of the annual percentage rate, APR? And the answer is the true and actual cost of the amount financed. How do you calculate NOI, operating agreement? The answer is taxes, insurance, management fees, maintenance, utilities, and reserves, which I had a wrong answer: mortgage payment, taxes, insurance. So reserves also should be calculated. An investor is looking for a fourplex that is priced at $500,000 and has 7% cap rate. The investor told the sales associate to write up an offer using 9% cap rate. To earn nearest dollar, what is the investor is willing to pay? 500 should be divided into 7, multiplied to 7 of the NOI. Is the ways to divide by the desired cap rate, and then we pretty much get dollar amount that you want with a certain cap rate. Another mortgage question, which items listed below determine if the payment will go up or down on an adjustable rate mortgage, and the right answer is the index and the margin. I answered it correctly. I was under impression some amortization schedule. Another question, variance. You probably don't know what this terminology means, but it means that what variance does is grant that deviation will not harm or devalue the surrounding property. The owners must show that the current zoning requirements place an undue hardship or burden on this property. Classic example is a narrow lot where the owner cannot build it because the setbacks restrict the building footprint. So another interesting question, there are advantages and disadvantages of real estate ownership. Which items best describe the advantages? And the answer was the tax advantages and the potential leverage. My wrong answer was a lack of liquidity and potential appreciation. Okay, so that was a problem where I went wrong. They were telling me only about the advantages. Okay, so this question is about pretty much whoever has a Florida license wants to get the other states license like Georgia. The answer is you can pass for the question law exam and obtain the license. Another term to remember, avulsion, is when the ocean comes and takes the part of your property. Another question or thing to remember, that if you're not using your license, guys, it's going to be probably inactive, not suspended, inactive. When a cap rate used with income capitalization is high, the following relationship with the sales price exists. So I choose the cap rate and the risks are low. The sales price is as always low. What was wrong? The risk, the cap rate are higher, the sales price is usually lower. And the last question, a buyer is closing with a purchase price of $232,000 and a down payment of 10%. He will pay the doc stamps on the note and the intangible tax on the mortgage. What are the transfer charges to taxes? So most of the time it's the utility payments, this kind of stuff. But the answer to this specific question is $731 for the note and $417.60 for the mortgage. Let's check why they're saying so. For the transfer tax at closing are 35 cents per hundred or fraction thereof. The note is $232,000 or less. Florida transfer taxes at closing are 35% per 100% of. Okay, transfer taxes 35%. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you on the next one.